Though we say the session title is flow, we will try to cover different areas today. Yeah, definitely we will talk about flow, but there will be some additional areas as well that we'll be talking about, especially LWC, a little bit of Apex, a little bit of Experience Cloud. These area very heavy areas, so we will not be able to teach you everything, but we will give you high level understanding or high level uh, explanation, because not everybody going to use everything. So we will let you know, okay, these are the things you have. Then you can think and decide what are the things you are going to use in your solution. So we are just giving a guidance. So you have to understand this is not a end-to-end session. Here we can only give guidance, or we can let you know, okay, these are the options available in Salesforce. Then it's your responsibility to identify and decide what you guys are going to use in your solutions. I'm sharing correct screen, right? Okay. So today's second workshop. So mainly we will talk about flow. Those who came to journey to Salesforce, it's going to be a repeat for you guys, unfortunately. But I will be really fast. I will try to be fast, but as always, it will be slow, unfortunately, because I want you guys to understand everything. But let's see how fast I can go. So first of all, as always, thanks for joining today's session. Again, I know you are studying, blah blah blah, and everything. But yeah, thank you so much for joining today. So myself, I am not going to talk about these things again and again. Skip really quick. Partners, as always, social media. So put sale for Saturday, because whenever there is a session happening on a Saturday, that's called sale for Saturday. So you can mention that hashtag as well. We Okay. Hello. Fine, right? You don't have an issue. So the agenda is, what are the no code development you have? Salesforce flow, type of flow. So there are different types of flow, almost 6, 7 more than that, to be honest. But you're not going to use everything. You need two main flows potentially that you can use in your hackathon application. So we will discuss about those two flows a little bit extensively. Okay, and there will be a demo, and there will be hands-on exercise as well to get you familiarized, because doesn't matter it's your internal system, or doesn't matter it's your agent force implementation, flow is going to be the key. Even during your agent force implementation, because when you ask a question at the agent, it has to respond, right? In order to respond, it need to get the data from the database. Let's say you have a supermarket. I'm just creating a scenario. Let's say you have a supermarket, you have a website for a supermarket, and you are going to implement an agent. An agent is going to give you answers. So let's say you are asking at the agent saying whether this specific product is available at the moment, maybe a gas cylinder or maybe anchor. So in order to give the answer to the customer, you need to go to the database and check whether the specific product is available, right? So in that case, you need to do the database transactions, DML operations, right? So for that, either you can do coding, which is Apex. If you are comfortable with Apex, you can, but Go is the go-to way to communicate with the database. So this is very important, even in your internal operations, any logic implementation from your system perspective, right? And also for your agent force implementation, flow is a very important. So you understand the flow is very important. And also you are going to build UIs using flow as well. So flow is going to be one of the key element in your implementation. So that's why we have decided to have a full day session to discuss extensively. Okay, no code development. As we have seen this slide even in the last week session, as you know, we have a lot of low code and no code options, and Flow is one of the kind of in between. We are going to it's leaning towards no code, but there will be few coding related attributes that we'll be using in the Flow. Okay. Before Flow, you need to understand some basics. I hope you guys here have done something related to software engineering, right? You know, few classes or how variables works, what is loop, what is if this condition. You guys know everything, right? Anybody doesn't know these things? Anybody here don't know loops, don't know if else conditions, don't know variables? You guys know, right? So I'm going to skip very fast. That's the basics here. So basically, in order to have a web application, you need user interface, plus you need to have a business logic, right? Then only, and you have to have data. So these three all together become as a system. You can think about again MBC. Model is our data, U is our interface, C is our business logic. So flow is going to be the key integral part in Salesforce when it comes to the running the business logic, and even we can use the flow in user interfaces in some places, and also it's going to be interacting with database as well. So flow is almost going to be interact with all MVC, all three parts. So that's important flow is. So before flow, just for a knowledge, so flow has been introduced in Salesforce is there from 1999, right? Salesforce is there for 25 years. But flow has been introduced very recently, like last 3 years or something. Flow is introduced. Before that, we had other automation tools like process builder. We had workflow rules. So likewise, we had some other different automation tool. But recently, Salesforce introduced Flow because it's very powerful, and you can do almost everything using Flow. You can make API callouts, you can make database transaction, you can send emails, you can call a text method from Flow. So likewise, Flow is very powerful, and it's very easy to implement as well. Okay. So Salesforce is giving a lot of priority to Flow because Salesforce wants us to do less coding. That's the main mantra of Salesforce. You have to understand. Don't try to do everything using coding. Try to do things using the available tools other than jumping to the coding. So that's again and again I'm telling that. That's what we are expecting in the hackathon as well. Don't try to do. If you really want to do coding, that's fine. I'm not saying you need not to or you shouldn't do coding. You can do coding. But if something can be done using Flow, better you do with Flow than doing with coding. Okay, so the use case. So usually when it comes to use case, the business people they understand only non-technical requirements, right? They will not give all the details. So even for hackathon, you will be initially kind of drafting the business requirement using non-technical words. Then you have to transfer it into the technical words as a developer. They will just simply say, okay, I have to click this button, and this has to work. What's going to happen in the background? It's up to us. That's the business logic, right? So that's why we have to go. We are going to use Flow. So if you want to learn Flow, so these are the few better places to learn Flow with a lot of examples. Unofficial SF is one of the good website. There are a lot of those use cases are there, a lot of videos, a lot of step-by-step informations available. So try to visit that website, unofficial Salesforce. There are a lot of areas. So is also there. So it's one of the good website. And developer centers again, Trailblazer community. There is also discussion going on. Salesforce Ben, one of the good website where you can learn things, and also Subabach. As we discussed last week, Subabach, there are almost, I think, nearly 10 Subabachs available for Pro alone. So maybe this is not the time as you working in hackathon. Maybe after the hackathon, if you are planning to continue Salesforce learning, doing to our supervisors will be very helpful to understand the flow better. Okay, you know variables, right? So I'm not going to spend time here. You guys know variables because these are the things we are going to use in Pro. So that's why these are there. So this is the same slide we have used for joining to Salesforce session, because that's kind of an extensive slow learning program. So we have variables we will be using to get the input from the user, store a data in a variable to use in a different place. Likewise, so like that's the use cases for variables. And you just a heads up here, try to use meaningful names in the variables. Don't just use X, Y, X, Y, Z, A, B, C. No, that shouldn't be the case. These are kind of best practices. If you put X, Y, Z, it will work. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but that's not the best practice because your code should be readable by someone else. If you are going to the industry later, the best practices, the norms are very important. So when you are giving names to the variables, try to give meaningful names. It can be, for example, see bar number of pizzas. If you put X, yeah, it will work. But unless you do the whole end-to-end run, you don't know what the hell is X. You can't understand by reading the code what's going on. So code readability, code reusability, optimizations are very key when it comes to software development. So make sure you are using better names in your flow. Then control structure. Control structure means you are controlling the flow of the execution. Which should happen first? Which should happen next? Which should happen based on which condition? Which should happen multiple times? If else, loops. So those are the control structures, right? So we have two things. One is sequential. When we say sequential, that is loop. When is condition, that is if else. You guys know, right? So here, as you can see, this is a decision statement. Based on the decision, there can be condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. So we will put one decision and we will execute different things based on the condition of that. For example, most probably you would have done giving the grade based on the total or based on the average. If the total is greater than 80, A. If the total is greater than 60, B. If it is greater than 40, S. If it's less than 40, fail. Right? So, 4 different conditions. So, they are based on the specific condition. You are deciding 4 different paths. It can be 4 paths, 10 paths, n number of paths possible, or even 2 paths. Right? So, that is condition statement or decision making statement. So, we are going to use decision making element in the flow to use the condition based execution. Okay. Then loop. So as you know, we have 3 loops, right? Do by loop, for loop, right? So likewise in flow, we have an element called iteration to do the things multiple times. Okay. So that's how loop will look like in flow. I'm just skipping, guys. For example, we have a element called for each iteration. So what will happen is, for every, let's say there are 10 records available in a list. What is list? Collection of variable is list. If there is one account, it's one variable. But let's say there are 10. It's array, right? You can think array, list, all are same meaning. Array, list, set, map. Kind of similar, but obviously there are differences, but kind of similar meaning. It's collection of data. N number of data, it's array. You can think array, list. So let's say I have 10 accounts in a list. I have to send email to 10 accounts. So what I have to do, I have to iterate to the list. And whenever I receive each account, I have to check whether the account has an email address. If the account has an email address, I have to send the email. So for that, this is the use. This is the solution. So we will use the loop for each element, and you will call the send email action, and you will be sending. So after last end. So this flow is kind of the same visualization that you are writing the flow chart, right? You are transferring the flow chart into the flow builder. That is flow. Simple as that. Okay. So this is iteration, and there are some best practices. Obviously, as I said earlier, you have to decide what's the data type. You have to understand right data type, whether it's number, date, string. It can be a record type. String is different. Record type is different. If you are going to use a Salesforce record, then that's a record type variable. If you are using account or contact or lead, and even if you are using your own custom object, then that is record type. Then use camel case. Again, that's little bit too much, but give meaningful name to your variables and give a description of the variable and self-documenting. These are the things we will not be considering or checking during your hackathon evaluation. But again, when you are learning, you have to learn things in the right way, right? Then decision statements, again, control structure, as we discussed earlier. Uh, so the algorithms also, again, I'm skipping the best practices to be honest. Then DML operations. This is another section in the. So what is DML operation? What is DML? What is DML? What is DML? Data manipulation language. Means you are going to do some changes in the database. Simple as that. So what are the different actions that we can do in DML? These are the actions we can do in DML, right? You can insert a new object or new record rather. You can update a record. You can delete a record. You can delete a record. You can upsert a record. You can merge a record. To be honest, last three you can ignore. We rarely use last three here. We usually use the first three. We either insert new record, we either update a record, we delete a record. And there is another one, we retrieve the record based on some condition, right? If we want to update something, you have to retrieve first, right? You have to check whether the data is available. If available, you get it, update it. If not available, you insert. So that is insert, update, delete. Upsert is the same thing. Let's say you are upserting something. The meaning of upsert is it will check whether the data is available, right? Let's say you are using NIC as a primary key, right? It will check whether the data is available for the same NIC number, right? It will update rest of the data. If available, it will retrieve the data and update rest of the data. If not available, it will create new data. So that is upsert. Upsert is the combination of insert and update is upsert. So that's a upsert. Insert, update. So up and cert, upsert. So that's how the name came. So upsert is the combination of insert plus update. That's why as you can see, it has both green color and yellow color. The green color is insert, yellow color is update. That's a combination of both. I'm not sure whether you will be using that upsert to be honest, but these three probably you will be using, especially insert and update. You guys will definitely use. Okay. So this kind of exercise we did. Joining the Salesforce people, please be silent. Others, try to read the scenario and decide what is the DML command you have to use for the each scenario. Okay, just read it and keep it in your mind. I will give like a minute, then we will go one by one. So read the scenario and think what can be the DML operation you use for these scenarios. Okay, just take kind of 1 minute maybe. So we have 5 DML commands. We have 5 scenarios. So decide which can be which. It's very easy. Just common sense kind of a thing. This is not idea thing to be honest. Okay, are you ready? So, first scenario: get a contact whose lead source is trade show, modify its lead source to other, persist this modification to your O. The answer. What is a DML operation? Guys, please go. Speak, speak out. Update. Okay, correct. Second, create a new instance of a contact in memory. Persist this instance in your O. Huh? Okay, insert, correct. Users were incorrectly entered as contacts through the UI. Retrieve those contacts into memory and use their ID values to remove them from the org. Huh? Delete, okay. Create new contacts in memory. Also modify existing contacts that were loaded into memory. Issue a single command to persist new and modified contacts to the org. Upset. Actually, the contacts removed in scenario 3 were created correctly. Retrieve those contacts from the recycle bin into memory, then restore those contact records. Undelete. So undelete means you are reversing the deletion part. So in Salesforce, when you delete the data, it will be in recycle bin. The same way it works in Windows. So there is time period, 7 days, 14 days. So before that days, you can retrieve the data back from the recycle bin. So you can use undelete. Okay, simple as that. So now you understand, right? I know you guys already knew this, but again, for the sake of this session. So mainly in flow, you have four main DML actions. So first, create records. That is the action in flow. So the box in the data, that's the four action that you will be seeing in flow, and that is the logo or the icon of those actions as well. So you can use create records, you can use update records, get records, delete records. Get records is like retrieving the data based on some conditions. For example, let's say you have to get the data based on condition, then you need to update them. You can use them. Or say you have to get some data and show it in the UI, you can use that. So that is get records. And create, update, delete, again same as we discussed in the previous session, previous slide. Okay. Now we are going into the actual flow. Okay. So what is flow in the first place? Flow automates business processes by executing logics, interacting with the Salesforce objects, aka database, and users. Basically, you can use the flow to both interact with Salesforce, means database, DML operations, and with interact with users as well, means screen flow, means you are going to create UI using flow. Flows are built using the flow builder. So there is a section or a tool called flow builder in Salesforce. That's what we are going to use in order to build the flows. A flow interview is an instant of a currently executing flow. So when you build a flow, that is a flow. But when it's running the flow, for example, you create a class. When your class is running, it's a class instance, right? I hope you guys know that already. We call that instance of the class. Likewise, when you have a flow, while the flow is running, we call it flow interview. So what is flow interview? When the flow is running during the runtime, we call it as flow interview. So there are few core type flows, major type of flows: screen flow, schedule triggered flow, auto launch flow, record triggered flow, platform event. So these are only few types. There are more than this. Here, what is very important for us is first thing first, screen flow. You need screen flow. That's the basic. The second thing is record triggered flow. So screen flow means you are building the UI using flow, and let's say you want to get the data from user, or you need to show something to user. So the same way you are using the normal HTML, CSS, that is screen flow. Simple as that. Okay. What is record triggered flow is, let's say you want to do something when something happens to something. It can be a validation, right? Let's say you want to validate while you are creating a record. Simple. When you are creating accounts, you want to make sure the date of birth is greater than sorry, less than today, right? Account date of birth cannot be greater than today, right? So what you can do when you are creating account, you are inserting account into database. So what we can do is in the record trigger flow, there are different conditions. When should it trigger? When you are creating new records, or when you are updating records, or both scenario, or when you are deleting something, when should it trigger? And what is the condition? What should happen? You are checking some conditions, or you are sending email, for example. Let's say you want to send an email when you are creating a new record. It's a valid scenario, right? So whenever there is a record is created, you want to send a welcome email, for example. Let's assume. So for that, you can use record trigger flow. So whenever there is an account created, you can send an email. So those kind of scenario, you can use record trigger flow, right? Then schedule triggered flow. Schedule triggered flow means you want to run a flow in a specific time, in a given day. For example, you want to run every day 12 o'clock, every week this day, every month this day, this time. So you want to run the flow in a specific interval, right? The best example is sending happy birthday email or SMS 12 a.m. every day. So what you will do? You will go create a schedule triggered flow that should run 12 o'clock every day. It will get the data, your birthday is today, and it will send a happy birthday email, right? So that's another scenario. So for that, we will be using schedule triggered flow. So these are the main three flow that you can use in your business logics. So these are the three main flow that we are going to discuss as well. Schedule triggered flow I might skip because that's very straightforward. If you understand record triggered flow and everything, schedule triggered flow very straightforward. So those two flow we will be heavily discussing. If you understand those two flows, then schedule triggered flow, auto launch flow, you can understand on your own. Others, you don't need to understand. It's very rare that you need them for your hackathon. These platform event, those are advanced, very advanced. Okay, so don't worry about them. Why they are there? Because they are that powerful. So we discuss about small, very basic scenarios, but you can use flow for very complex, advanced scenarios as well. Okay, so screen flow, as I mentioned, you are building a UI. So let's say you have your account layout, right? You guys remember page layouts and everything, right? I hope you haven't forgot anything. So let's say you want to build a button there, and when the button click, you want to pop up a screen and get some data, right? So what you can do, you can create a screen flow, and you can launch the screen flow by a quick action, means a button. Or you can execute it from a lightning page. So you can put the flow inside your lightning page itself. Or you can put it in your experience cloud as well. Means experience cloud is your external website, right? We will try to touch that area as well today, how to build experience cloud. So let's say you have a flow, you can put the flow in the experience cloud as well. That is again screen flow. Then auto launch flow. Auto launch flow is again, you have a business process that has to trigger from something or somewhere. So that is auto launch flow. So auto launch flow can be called by another flow. You can call one flow from another flow. The same way we use methods, right? You can call one method from another method, right? You guys know methods, right? Functions. Anybody don't know codings? So you know methods. We can call one method from another method. Any confusion there? Guys, don't be silent. That's very scary. Then triggered flow, it can be time based, or it can be a data change based, or it can be a platform event. So that one you can skip. Time based, schedule triggered flow, data change, record triggered flow. So these are the basic three types. So flow builder. So flow builder, this is the flow builder. I will show in the demo anyway. Where you will be building the flows based on your requirements. So there are three main areas. One is toolbox, where all your tools and resources available that you need to build your flow. Canvas is where you will be building your working area. And button bar, there are some buttons like saving, activating, deleting. So those kind of buttons. So that is button bar. So these are the three major areas in the flow builder. Screen flow. So now let's go one by one. The main flow types. So screen flow is very basic one. You can use for asking questions or presenting information to your user. Based on user's answers, the screen flow can update data, send out communications, and show more questions or information. Right? That is screen flow. Plus, you choose how to show a screen flow to your users. So you can choose when you are going to show your screen flow. As I mentioned earlier, it can be a button click, it can be in your page layout, it can be in your experience flow. You can decide that one as well. You can embed it lightning pages or kick it off when click. Again, that's what I have discussed. So you can put it in your lightning. The power of flow is screen flow is you can put the screen flow inside the LWC. LWC is the custom code of the UI. Let's say you want to build a customized, you want to use HTML, CSS, and everything. That is LWC. You can create a flow and call the flow inside the LWC. Right? One. It will work other way around as well. You can go one LWC inside a flow. So those who are interested in developing high level or complex system, think about these things. You can design a LWC UI, right? Right, and you can embed that LWC UI inside this flow, and it will work other way around as well. So again, just for information, I don't know, we don't expect you to do that, but if you do that, it's great. No harm. It's not a must. So this is the basic screen flow. See, so start button. So this is same flow chart, guys. You would have done in pseudocode everything, right? Start, end. That is flow, simple as that. So get accounts data means we are getting the accounts. We have a screen. So we ask the user to do something, and we are making a decision, and we are doing something. So that's kind of a flow it's going to be. That is a simple example of flow. So if you can see there, that is the screen component of this screen flow. Screen is one element. Let's say you want to have three different screens. You can put three screens. It will be three UI, three different page in your system, right? So there will be next button. When you click next button, the next screen will appear. Likewise, I will show a demo. You will understand. It's very easy. That's the highlight. It's very easy to build UI. You don't need to do any coding. So what is a screen? A screen is a page that user sees when the flow runs. Each page is defined by a single screen element on the flow canvas. So each screen will be defined by each screen element. If you want one screen, there will be one screen element. If you want five screen, there will be five screen elements. It will be one after another, likewise. Even if the flow is embedded in just a small part of your Salesforce window, it's still called as a screen. So you need not to think, let's say you have a whole screen, but maybe in a small part, you are calling your flow in your page layout. Still, we will be calling it as screen. So screen doesn't mean the whole screen. Even if a small part, it's called as a screen when it comes to screen flow. When the flow runs a screen element, the flow remains on the element and waits for the user. So usually execution, it will be happening based on the logics, right? But here in screen flow, it will wait for the user action. So when user do something, only the next step will happen. If user doesn't do anything, that will stay forever. To present multiple pages of questions and instructions to users, use multiple screen elements. As I mentioned, if you want to use multiple screens, you can use it as well. This is a simple screen that you can build in your using screen flow. Very easy. So this kind of UI you can simply build using screen flow. Okay. So that is screen. A screen is the tag that user sees. Again, the same. I think it's duplicated, unfortunately. So there are screen components that you have to understand. Display components only display information. So if you want to do if you want to show a text, if you want to show a image, then you can use this display components. Input components means you want to, let's say you want to get data from the user. It can be a text, it can be a date, it can be email, number, whatever. Based on the data type, you will choose which element you want to use. That is input components to get input from the customer or the user. Then there are record fields. Record fields means you are directly using a Salesforce record in your screen. Let's say you are using account. Account has a lot of fields, right? First name, last name, address, number of employees, likewise. What you can do is you can directly use those fields in the UI. Based on the field type, it will automatically decide what is the UI type. For example, if it's a date of birth, if you are using input component, you have to decide what should be the UI. It should match with the data type, obviously. You can't use date picker for phone number. Doesn't make sense, right? But you have to make the decision. Type of input element I want to use. So that is second type, input component. But if you go for record fields, if you drag and drop the phone number field, it will automatically create the text box. If you drag and drop date of birth, it will automatically populate the date picker. Likewise. So that's the difference between second and third point here. Okay, now I have to show you a demo. Okay, because without demo, nothing. You will not understand anything because your people are not talking even, unfortunately. So I don't know whether you guys understand or not. Okay, so I'm going to open my trailhead and will open one of my org. If I have a superbug joke, I will show how a big flow will look like. Okay, I'm not sure whether I have a superbug. So this is trial playground, general playground, developer edition, developer edition. What is the name? This is security and performance. This is flow. Okay, this is a flow playground. I will launch it. Probably there will be a flow. This is integration. This is data protection. This is agent force. Okay, this is the general playground. So this is the one I will use to show you a demo for a new use case. But in this, there will be flow that's been already built. So how you want to go to flow? Simple. You go to this gear icon, right? Go to setup. So you will get the setup UI. Here you will search for flow. So when you search for flow, you will get see flows. So when you go to flows, it will show all the flows that is already available in your organization or your Salesforce. So as you can see, there are a lot of flows already available because this is one of the special playground that is distributed for one of the super batch. So when you are doing flow super batches, there will be special playgrounds that you have to use because it's partially done. Based on the question, you have to complete it. So that's why I have chosen this to show you how a flow will be. So here, as you can see, it's mentioned what is the process type. This is screen flow, schedule flow, like auto launch flow. So it will show what's type of the flow, and it's a flow label. What is the name of the flow? So let's open some screen flow, for example. So these are schedule flow, auto launch flow, screen flow. So create a new case. See, this is a screen flow created. Create a new case. So let's open it and see. So this is your flow. So here, this is the, so now it shows nothing is connected to start the element. Okay. So this is a question actually. Okay. Okay. So now this is the name. That is the errors and warnings. Oh, okay. What are they? Okay, this is toolbar. Good. So now this is the order of execution. So first screen flow, assign stage one. There is an assignment happening here. So this is a screen one, right? If I double click this, so this is where you will build your screen. Okay. So here, this is the header. You can put the label, whatever you want, right? Confirm your customer info. So here it's first name, last name, right? This is the user input, like input box. And here the footer. So you can select you want a pause button or not, you want a previous button or not, you want a finish. So you can even decide if you go to configure header, you can choose whether you want to show your header or not, right? So this is the header, right? So you want to show a header or not, you can decide, right? So help text you want to show or not, you can decide. If you want to provide a help text, what is the help text? So you can configure your header in this area. Then you can configure a footer. So this is the footer area, right? This is footer. See footer. So you can see decide whether you want to show the footer or not in the first place. If you want to show the footer, are you going to use the standard label or you want to use your custom label? If it's a custom label, what is the label of the custom label? You want to hide the next button or not, right? Or you are just want to use the standard button. Likewise, you want to what you are going to do with the previous button, what you are going to do with the post button, right? Then what are the actions you want to do? So this one you can skip for the time being. So likewise, let's say I want to add few more fields. So this is our components. So we discussed about three components, right? Input components, output display components, and then the record components. So in the component section, you can see the input and output components. So here, as you can see, you can use action button, you can use address, checkbox, checkbox group, currency, date time. So let's say I want a date time, I can just drag and drop here. So it will give the date time. So this is how you will be creating the UI. Just drag and drop. You don't need to do any coding. But when you put a new component, you have to give a label and you have to decide, for example, whether it's a required field in the UI, right? You want to disable it or not based on some conditions, right? And if it's read only, just to show data. So this kind of configuration you can simply make here by giving or making the changes. So simply you can build a UI from scratch without any code. So this is input tools. And when it comes, if you go to fields, so then if you want to show fields, yes, you have to decide which object you are relating here. If you want to show a field, then you have to decide that which field. It can be account or contact or case or whatever. So I am just want to choose case, right? Then when you choose case, then automatically you will get fields that's related to the case, right? Subject, company, then you can put drag and drop that one. So now automatically, as you can see, it's based on the record type, it automatically selecting what is going to be the UI format. It automatically deciding. So that's how you will be building your screen flows. Okay. I am going to cancel it because I don't want to make any changes here. So this flow is inactive as you can see. So we have to build it, we have to serve it, then we have to activate it. But for the time being, so see step by step implementation. So It's get the screen 1, then it's go to screen 2, it's going to contact lookup, it decide whether the contact is exist or not. If it's contact not found, you have to create a new contact, then you have to create the case, and you have to go to the assign status here, and you have to get the more details, and you have to create the, so it's a long flow, to be honest, because it was already built by Salesforce in that. So this is how a flow can look like. It's a little bit big, to be honest. You can build a flow just with one screen. That is also fine, which we are going to do right now anyway. So if you want to run, check this flow, how it's going to work. You can click the debug button. It's kind of you are testing it. So you can either run or debug. So I just click run. So see, hello, this is Trima Sharma. Can you please provide your first name and last? So I just my first name like Sharma, STS, and click the next button. Then it's asking for email address. So let's give test tst@google.com. Phone number 12345678990. Next. So how can we help today? So because it's a case, right? Case is something usually we use in a customer care call center, right? So it's asking what is your problem today. So what is the case type? Mechanical. What is the case origin? So whether it's phone or email or web. So it's, let's say, phone. What is the case subject? I give test subject. Case detail. I'm just giving random details. Next. Your case is created. We will be in touch with you. 3 steps. So this is a small case creation scenario you have created using very simple screen flow and few other flow elements. Now, as you have run the flow, the data will be created in Salesforce. If you debug the flow, data will not be created because you are testing it. But if you run the flow, the data will be created in Salesforce. I hope so. Let's see. So let's go to case and see whether the case is created. See. So now the case is created. Let's block it. So this is the case number, right? And here is the details. What is the contact? So it just created a new contact. Because in our flow, we have a decision here, right? We are getting the customer detail here, right? We are getting the email address. We are getting the phone number. In this screen, we are getting the email address and phone number. Then what we are doing here, we are doing a contact lookup. So this is the icon for get records action. So what we are doing here is, so we are selecting the object contact and using the first name, last name, phone number, mobile number. So we are putting all the condition, right? We are checking the first name and last name. And with the phone number, we are checking whether that phone number is available in any of the field, because there are many phone number fields in contact. As you can see, there is assistant phone number, there is home phone, there is mobile phone, there is other phone, there is business phone. So we are checking whether that phone number is available in any of the contact field, and if it's available, it will give me the record, right? And we are storing the record in a field called ID. Then, so here what we have done, we have received the email address and the phone number in the screen, and in this get contact action, we have retrieved using the first name, last name, and the phone number. And then we are making a decision. See, what is the decision? if the contact ID is not null or is null. If the contact ID is null, we will be doing contact not found decision. Null means nothing, right? So if your contact ID is null, means nothing is returned for that first name, last name, email address, so phone number. Default outcome means else. So it's a basic if else condition, right? So here we are using the decision. So contact not found, we are creating a contact, right? If contact is already found, we have the contact details. So we are going to the second screen. So here, as you can see, fault means something goes wrong. So just ignore this piece for the time being. Just let's go to this path. Okay. So we are creating the contact. So how we are creating the contact? Simple. So we are going to create a contact. We are going to record the values manually. What is the object we are going to create? Contact. Again, this is a selection. So you can select what is the Salesforce object you are going to create records for. Then you can decide whether you want to define the fields manually or you have a record variable. Let's say you have a record variable. It can be account or contact. You can directly use that. Or you can simply manually put one by one. You can define each fields. What is the value? So what I have done is, as you can see, we are manually putting the values. So we are defining what is email, what is first name, what is last name, what is business phone. So these are the whole details we have received in the screen. You remember, right? We had two screen. First screen, first name, last name. Second screen, email address and phone number. So we are defining those detail into this fields of the object. So it will automatically create this record in this section. Then after we create the record, then what we are doing, we are getting case details. Right? What is the case type, what is the origin, blah, blah, blah. Then again, we are creating a case record. So we are putting the details inside the case record. Then we are getting the case lookup because we want to show the case ID in the UI, right? That is the case number. So we are just creating, make sure the case is created, and in the screen we are saying, yeah, case is created. So this is a simple step-by-step idea where you can create a case, right? So same way you are going to use this flow in many places, right? Any questions? Okay. If you don't have questions, let's create a simple case. Sorry, simple screen flow. So what I will do is I will go back to the other playground, means the usual playground. So this is another playground. So let me go to flow. So what I'm going to do is I just going to build a screen flow where I am just going to show some text, just some hello world, like you do a hello world programming as a first step. Let's do a hello world flow. Okay. So now I am going to create a new flow. So new button here, new flow button. Click the new flow button. It will open in a new tab, the flow builder. First, it will ask what type of flow you are going to create. So as you can see, it can be a triggered flow, it can be a scheduled flow, it can be a screen flow, it can be a auto launch flow. So we need screen flow, right? So let's go with screen flow. So whether it's a screen flow, there are a lot of options. I will go with usual screen flow, simple as that. So there is nothing, start and end, nothing else. What I'm going to do is I can click this plus button. So these are the options you will get in your flows. So you can pick the screen, you can call actions. Actions means you are calling API, you are calling Apex class, you are sending email. So if I select action, for example, see, I have 559 options in the actions. So in the email, as you can see, you can send email. So if you want to send email, you can use this action. Or if you want to call Apex class, you can use that. So for that, we have to create Apex class in the first place. So likewise, you can use lot of actions based on your use case. So that is action. So likewise, you can call another flow. You can call flow from another flow. We have discussed, right? And you have, these are the logical attributes we have in flow. So you have to do assignment. Let's say you want to assign a variable to some x is equal to y. Likewise, you will use assignment logic. Decision, if else condition. Loop, iteration, right? Then transform, collection. So these three a little bit advanced. If you are interested, yes, go ahead and study. But I am not going to discuss about these three today. But in data, you have create, update, get records, delete records, roll back records. So again, these four is basically very important. And even I would say the first three, there is very rare case scenarios you will be deleting, I would say. But again, these are the data. So as you can see, very simple. You have screens, you have actions, you have some logics, you have the DML operation. So these are the four main area we have in flow. So now, as it's going to be a simple screen flow, I will delete this, delete element. I will put a simple screen. So see, this is my basic screen. So I have decided whether I want the header, I want the footer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove them. So I'm going to remove the footer. I'm going to remove the header as well, right? But first, what we have to do, we have to give a label. So I will put hello world as we discuss. Hello world is the name of my screen. RLD. Hello world. API name it will automatically give. You need not to worry about API name. That's it. Right. So now I have to decide what I am going to do in my screen flow. As I mentioned, I am going to just put a text. Okay. So what I have to do is I have to get a text field for that. So I can use, see in the display area, you have display text, you have repeater, you have section. So I put a display text. In the display text, again I will put show text as the API name. There shouldn't be any spaces in the API name, right? So here I going to, you can, as you can see, we have the normal rich text editor. So I will put hello world. See, you get the visibility here. So I will increase the font size. I will change the color. Let's go with the blue color, right? I put like bold. Whether you want to put bullet center, if you want to put an image, you can put. If you want to remove, like you can put all the, and I done. So this is just a simple hello world. So if I run, I have to save it first. So I will flow label hello world again. It's a flow label. Description I skip, save it. So now I have served my flow. What is the flow is missing navigation? Don't worry, just a warning. We need not worry about that. So now I'm going to run the flow. So what will run? What will run? Just a hello world text. That's it. That's what we have done, right? So now what we are going to do is we are going to put this hello world screen in our page layout. Okay. Before that, now it says what it says? Inactive. If it's inactive, this flow will not be available anywhere for you to use. So in order to use this flow, you need to activate it. I will show this inactive first, then we will put it. Then we will activate it. Okay. So let's say I want to use it in my account layout. So I am opening my account. So last week we have discussed about both page layouts and record pages, right? So if you want to edit this record, already hello my world is there. So we already have a flow. I think I have already used the same playground for you to a demo in the last session as well. So how we can edit this page? Here I can edit page. Okay. Here, see, we have the flow component. So I will delete it for the time being. So let's say I want to put my flow inside my record page. What I have to do is I just need to search for flow. See flow. I drag and drop here. Then it will ask which flow you want to use in this flow element area. So I will say hello world. This is not the hello world we have this created. We have created hello world, not hello world screen. As you can see, hello world is not available here. Why? Why is not available? We didn't activate it yet. So now what we have to do is we have to go to the flow builder and activate it in the first place. So now it's active. There is a possibility I need to refresh. Yeah, I need to refresh. Let me refresh. Yeah, reload. Probably I need to delete it and recreate it. So let's replace this hello world. So it's already, we have it. So now I search. See, now the hello world is available. So if I put hello world, save. So now it's saved. If I go back, see, hello world. The hello world screen has a next button, right? You remember. So that screen has a next button. This one doesn't have a next button. So let's say, so this is for account. You remember we have used that create case screen flow, right? Yeah, there's a create case, right? So let's say we want to put it in our case. All case, my case. Okay. So this is the case UI, right? So let's say I don't want this place in this side of this UI. I want my flow here in this space. Let's assume. So here he have the details, right? So what we can do again, edit page. So let's say I don't want this. I don't want this component here. Just delete it, and I want the flow. So again, so now we have incorporated the flow inside the case record page, and we are running the flow as you can see. So now the case is created. So this is the case number. So now if I copy this case number and search, see this is the case. So now the case is created, the created time. So new contact is created as you can see with the email address I have given, right? If I go to the contact, it will go to the contact page, my email address, my phone number. So simply using few button clicks and configurations, you can create UIs, you can create database management, like you have seen, right? But we have done. We have checked whether the contact is available. If the contact is available, we are using the contact details to create the case, right? So now let's test the other scenario. So now it's creating the contact, right? Let's say I am using the same phone number and see what happens. Before that, let's check the flow, how it works. whether it's checking, whether it's matching everything, because in the get contacts, um, I will. So this is the screen confirm get records, right? In the get records, let's see what's the condition. So it's asking it should match 1 and 2 and one of the anything. So you have to give the first name and last name as same, and phone number also you have to match. Then only it will create or it will select the contact, right? So what I'm going to do is I will duplicate it to copy paste the contact details. Okay, and let me go back to the case page. So case page, if I go to the case page, I can create a new case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the first name and last name from this contact. Okay, so I'm just copy pasting it. So first name, same last name, and email address also. Let's use the same email address, right? And also phone number also same. So now in this contact we have only one case, right? Just note we have only one case, right? But we are using the same phone number and details here. And next, now it's ask for case details. I give electrical plus. Now let's say other case origin. Let's give web this time and test subject and some random. So now click next. Now it's new create 120 1028. Now if I go to this contact page and let's say I refresh it. Sorry, let's refresh it. Oh, comma. What happened? It didn't create the contact under the same contact. Sorry, case. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? It should have created now. 1028. Let's see what happened. Case is not created at all. Is that the case? Zero. How many zero? 40, 30. It's there. It's created, but it's created a new contact again. What happened? What happened? What happened? So it gets duplicated. Why it's duplicated? It shouldn't be. 877029. Okay, that it shouldn't work like this. Okay, now it's a problem, right? This is the funny part, the fun part. So when things are smooth and everything work, it's easy. Now it's not working as we expect. Now we have to check why it's not working as we expect. So that's where the debug option will come into play. So we have a debug option, right? This is debug. So when you use debug, what will happen is it will tell you step by step what is happening. So let's try that. So it's asking run the latest version of each flow goal by subpage. So it's asking some configuration in order to debug. So that's fine. Just run. So now it's asking. So it's see here's the debug details. So it says what is happening. So it's the assignment, assign stage 1, transaction committed. So now we have to give the same name details, right, of the record. So let's open that account and let's give the exact details, first name, last name. So which is one? Which is one? No, copy pasting is let's close this or this one, right? So I'm giving first name. I make sure there is no space issues and click next. So it says see, so it's screen create case, confirm identity by title. So we got the text box, first name input, the value at the runtime is Sarma, text box, last name, value runtime at something random. selected navigation button next. So we have clicked the next button. So it's like we are checking step by step what is happening. So we can identify where is the issue is happening, right? Now the email address and phone number. So let's grab this email address and put it in the email address field, and in the phone number field, let's grab this phone number and put it there. So now our expectation is that get contacts should return something, right? That's next button. Okay, now here it says, does contact exist? Skip the outcome because its conditions were not met. So it says it couldn't find any record. But here it says it's found record. See, successfully found record. So here it says, so this is the previous one, right? This is the previous screen. In this screen, we get the thanks. We give thanks. So in the lightning component, we get the email input. We get the value as the email address, right? Here in the lightning component phone input, we get the value as this. Selected navigation next. Then get records executed. In the get records, we are doing a contact lookup. We are running the condition. First name equals to this, last name equals to this, and phone number is something we are checking. The result is successfully found record. So the result is successfully found the record, but decision or condition must be true is null is true, it says. CUR contact ID is null, it says true. Default outcome executed. It's correct, right? Default outcome means, so here I will change the auto layout, that is easier for me. So here, does contact exist? Contact not found is 1. If contact is found, that is default outcome. So it's correct. So we found the contact. So that is the default outcome, right? If contact is not found, we have to create a contact. So here, that is executed. Default outcome is executed. Means contact found scenario is executed, right? So it's working as expected so far. So then here we have to give the details: electrical, phone, again random, and next. So it says get records case lookup. Sorry, here create records. So we got the details from the drop down, like what is the case, like blah blah blah. All the details we are getting from here, and we are creating the records. Create case record, and we are using the contact ID as the retrieve. See, CUR contact.id. The contact retrieved in the get records is used here. So the case will be created under that specific contact, right? Then we are getting the case and using the case number in the field, transaction is committed. So any records that the flow was ready to create, update, delete were committed to the database. It says so. It's like whatever database changes we are making. So when we click finish, all done. So transaction is like kind of so what was the case number? 1019, right? I don't think the case will be created because usually it's created here. So now in this scenario, I think probably maybe extra space or white space would have been the problem because we didn't do those fine tuning, right? Removing the white spaces, stripping the unnecessary values. I think that might be the reason that it has created a new contact. But as you can see, now it's created the case under the same contact as we have given the correct details. So this is how you will use the screen flow in your scenarios. Okay. Any questions? So now let's go back to the presentation. Actually, so as we have done the demo, okay. Before we go to record figure flow, let's take a small break. We are ready for the break, I hope. Yeah, they are arranging. Okay, they are arranging. Before that, let's complete this slides. So record figure flow. Record figure flow is very easy. So you will be deciding when should the flow work. For example, if a contact is updated, the account is created, the account is deleted. Likewise, you will set the context or set the conditions when the flow should be triggered. Then you will decide what should be the business logic. Any validations, any emails, or like anything. You can do anything. Like the screen flow that we had seen, it can be a long flow as well, very complex flow as well. Okay. So basically, figure flow, there are three types. One is scheduled figure flow, means you will decide or scheduling the flow to run at a given time, so given interval. So, example, as I mentioned earlier, every day 12 o'clock or every day 11 o'clock. Likewise, you can schedule that. Second, please ignore. Second time, we don't worry about that. Platform event, not, not up to us for the time being, it's very advanced. The third one is record triggered flow. That is another potential use case. So when is a record is created, when is a record is updated or deleted, you are triggering the flow. So system 3 is the use case. So sorry, I picked the wrong button. Sorry. So record triggered flow is most commonly used for automation. So usually this is screen flow we use for user interactions, right? Usually record triggered flow we use for automations. You want to automate something, for example, validation rules, so email sending. Likewise, there are a lot of scenarios you can think of for record triggered flow. I have just mentioned very few very basic scenarios, but there are a lot of scenarios that you can use them. And you can create a record triggered flow to update another record. For example, now we have created case and contact, right, in the screen flow. Let's say you have a record trigger flow on case. Whenever case is created, we have to send the email to the customer. So what you can do, you can have a record trigger flow to create case. So basically to create case, you will be using screen flow. To send the email, you will be using record trigger flow, right? Because the flow is triggered when the record has been changed, that change is already on its way to database. This is often called as transaction. So this is again some technical details. You can skip if you want. Then auto launch flow. Auto launch flow is like, as you can see, the flow run on its own. It's automatically getting launched, right? It will do the things without any user interactions, right? Like a child. Okay, again, it's example. So usually this auto launch flow, you will be calling it from another flow because there is no trigger point to this auto launch flow, but you have to use it somewhere, right? So usually this auto launch flow used as a subflow. Means you are calling this flow from something else. Likewise, let's say you want to send email, so you can have a send email flow as an auto launch flow. Then you can reuse the flow anywhere you want, right? Let's say you have a 5 different scenarios to send email. Rather than implementing the send email in all 5 places, 5 different time, you can have a send email subflow and you can call the subflow in anywhere you want in all the 5 places. Now, so you have only one implementation, you are reusing it in 5 places. So in that scenario, you will be creating a auto launched flow, right? So that's how you can use a record triggered flow. I will show a demo for record triggered flow as well. Let's quickly do it. So let's use the same scenario. Let's say I am creating a case, right? When the case is created, I have to send the email to the contact's email address, case contact's email address. You got the use case, right? When the case is created, I have to send the email to the case contact's email address. Each case is created under a contact, right? So when the case is created, we will go to the contact and we will select the contact email address and we will send the email. So now for that, we need to create a record trigger flow. Before the demo, let's take the break. It's already 11:30. So then only we can take the main break by 12:30. So I will pause the recording. Those joined online also please take a break. Let's come back in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes to continue to show the demo or for the demo. Let's complete the demo. So now we are going to create a new flow, which is a record trigger flow. So I'm going to close all the other tabs. So overwhelming. So I will keep only one case tab, one flow tab. So so previously we have created screen flow. Now we are going to select trigger flow. So trigger flow, it's asking whether it's a record trigger flow platform. We don't worry about too much. It's simply just one record trigger flow. Yes, selecting record flow. So if you remember, in screen flow, we just had start and stop button and we added a screen. But in record trigger flow, as soon as you have created the flow, it's asking few details. You have to define what is the trigger point for your record trigger flow. Okay. So let's for our case, our scenario. Okay. For our scenario, case is the object that is asking what is the object, what is the trigger for the flow, means when should the flow should run, and what is the entry condition. So even the case is created, you can set further condition. So if this condition do this, if this condition do this, likewise, you can set further conditions. So now let's select case. So case is the object. So whenever case is created, so whether it's created or updated, and deleted. So we have 4 options. So let's go with created. So whenever a case is created, we want to do something. Then what is the entry condition? No entry conditions. Mean whenever case is created, execute it. So if you want to further streamline, even case is created, whenever this is the scenario, then only if you want to do something, you can set for the condition, right? So any means, or you can put multiple condition and or likewise. If you remember the get records, we had multiple scenarios, right? 1 and 2 or 3. So likewise, you can create custom logics as well. But for the time being, I am keeping it as none. So whenever case is created, it will do something. Here you can see we have 2 options. So one is asking fast field updates. Mean if you want to do any changes in the triggering object itself, let's say you want to do some validations, or let's say you want to make some modification. Let's say based on a simple example here is we can think of the grading, right? Let's say you are creating a student record based on the student portal, you want to put a grade. So based on the student total, you want to generate the grade field. So basically, you are updating the same record, right? In that case, you have to use this one, fast field update. See, it says, see, update fields on the record that triggers the flow. So if you want to make any changes in the same record, you have to select this one. Any other changes, so you want to update some other record, so you want to do some other actions, then you have to select this one. So we want to send email, right? So we select this option as the option, and that's it. Now we can close it. Okay. So now we have set object is case, trigger is a case is created, or trigger, record is created, optimize for actions and related record. So second option. So that is our entry criteria for this record trigger flow. It will run immediately. So now we have to decide what you want to do in the flow, right? So let's say we want to send the email alert. See, it's automatically we have an option. So when we say email alert, okay, we don't have option out of the box option for that. So what we can do is we can manually create action, and from the action we can select send email. So let's enable send email, description, blah blah blah. So it's asking the details. What do you want to send? What is the subject? What is the body? Everything you have to mention here, right? So what I'm going to do is so receptions address list. So optional, as you can see. Recipient address collection, again optional. CC, if you want to put a carbon copy, right? While we are sending emails, these are options we have, right? Then again, if you have a collection, you can mention that here. BCC, blended carbon copy. That's also we have. So these are the details. Okay, we don't have sender details, so we need to sender detail. Use email template or configure. So here we have two options. One, whether you want to create your own email content, or you can use email template. Email template is you have a template and you are reusing somewhere. So that is if you are using emails in your solution in your hackathon, you can explore about email template. Email template is you are kind of um, generating or like creating a sample. It will automatically replace the data. For example, hello receiver, blah 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 blah. So whenever you use the template, it will automatically replace the receiver name with the username. Hello Sharma, hello Nandu, whatever. It will automatically replace the data. So that is an email template. So you need not to create the email again and again. You create a template and use it multiple places. So that is email template. So you can create the email template and you can use it here as well. So but now for this purpose, I just going to manually create the email details. So subject, let's say your case has been spelling mistake, CEIVED, received. So you can put the details. Body, dear customer. See here, I can generally put the details, or else I can use the details that we have in the flow to use in this body. So dear, rather than putting the customer, it's better to use the customer name, right? It will be more appealing, more customized version, right? So see, we have an insert resource. So here, triggering case. So here you have a lot of option. So who is our customer here? The case syntax name, right? So what I have to do is triggering case. Triggering case, that is the case triggering this flow, right? So triggering case, where I have contact ID, and in the contact ID, I have name. Last activity, clean. Where is name? There should be a name field. See full name. So it will automatically put the reference here. So dear, the case customer's name. We have received your case. Let's put the case number. Again, more we are giving more details to the customer, right? So where we can get the case number again? Simple. Again, triggering case, In the case itself, we will have the case number, right? So in the case, if we go to case origin, case reason, case type, there should be case number. Case number. See, case number. Case number. I want to put it. Yeah. Okay. It's same, but I think it's not enough space. So let's what we can do is we can bold it. Okay. So case number will be bold. Case number, and I will remove the bold. We will look into this ASAP. Thank you. So let's say now if you put this, let's say I have a call center. There are 20 people working, right? Now the potential possibility is 20 people can create a case. So now the customer is going to receive the email, but it's better if we mention who is the agent. So when the case is created, the case will be created by someone. That is the person creating the case, right? So what we can do is in the signature, again, we can put the name of the created username. So we will know who is the person created the case. The customer also will know the details. So again, triggering case created by created by ID. There should be a name if I am not wrong. Latitude, language, local, address, company, country, division, email, first name, full name. See, so now it will have the name of the person who is creating the case. So it's also kind of you are replicating the email template here, but if you have the template, that is more user friendly. You need not to explicitly mention this again and again. Reusability. So again, reusability is the case. For example, if you have one email template, you can use in multiple ways. But if you're creating 5 this kind of record ticket flow, you have to create this 5 times. Again, reusability is the key. Okay. So that's it. Our email body is ready. Rich text formatted body. So we are using rich text here, right? So we have to put it as true because our email is a rich text formatted body. Attachment ID is nothing. Recipient ID. Enter the value search. So here recipient ID. Who is going to receive the email? To whom we are going to send the email? That is the subject body. Sender configuration. Sender type. Current user. Send the email address. So I am selecting who is the sender, from which email address the email is going to be sent. So I'm using the current user. You can select default user or wait. Let's say you have a company, then there will be a common email to the company, right? Like info@dialog.com dialog.com or customer support@dialog.com. So you can set that customer as a org-wide email address, and you can use that email address. If you select that, the org-wide email address will be used. So now that is also same because it's my personal playground, right? So both email address is same, but you can create multiple org-wide email address, and wherever you want, you can use. Let's say you have different departments. From customer care, it has to be customer support@dialog.com, for example. But if it's going from finance, it has to be finance@dialog.com, likewise. So you can create multiple org-wide email address, and you can use whatever email address you would like to send from here. So this is from address, send the details. Like that, we have to put recipient email address. So I think recipient address should be this if I am not wrong. But it's global constraint is asking. Okay, let's try. I'm also trying. So we want to use case contacts email address, right? So record and contact ID. Where is the contact ID? account contact ID. Here is the contact ID. So from case contact, then email. So here there should be an email field in the contact. See email. Okay. So now I have a confusion in this area, to be honest. Let's see, because I am a little bit confused regarding the received receiver details, recipient details especially. Attachment ID, recipient ID. Why enter value for such? The ID of a lead contact a person account to send the email to. If log email on send is included, then recipient ID is the ID of the record where the email is logged. If email template ID is included, then recipient ID is required. Okay, recipient ID not a must. We can skip that. Okay, let's try this and see. Okay, let's say send email on case creation. Save it. Okay. We found potential issues that can impact how this automation runs. Send email. Record contact name field contains a derived value that is not supported. In a schedule or record flow, record doesn't support some standard fields. Okay, this is one of the issue even we have faced. So here, if you remember, or if you can see, what we are using here, record.contact.name. We are using name as a field. But if I go to contact, and details, we have a name field, right? If I click the edit button, it will automatically split into 4 different pieces or 3 different pieces. Salutation, first name, last name. So from a database perspective, it's 3 different fields. But automatically Salesforce is deriving the name from first name and last name. So the problem is, whenever we are using these references, we cannot use that specific derived fields. If you want the full name, you have to explicitly use the first name, last name. So that's the error it's saying, because we are using the name in 2 places, right? In the here as well. Created by also we are using the same. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to use the first name rather than using the full name. Okay. So let's delete this and let's include the triggering case, contact ID, and first name, let's say. Okay. And likewise, this one also, we need to delete it. That will be easier to get the detail. Again, triggering case created by ID. See, we have 2 created by ID. This is exact ID. That's why you don't have a chevron here. But this created by ID is the whole object. So if you want to use further fields from that specific record, you will be choosing this one, because we want created by ID's name. If I choose this, it will just put the Salesforce ID, 15-digit that ID. So I want to use created by ID's name or first name, for example. So first name. So now let's save it. So see, warning is gone. So this is something you will practically, because even I also face the issue in actual implementation. Even it's same for lead, account. So wherever you have first name, last name derived as a name, you will have this issue. If you want the full name, you have to simply put first name, last name side by side with the amber sign, for example. It will automatically concat the first name, last name, and create the full name. So you have to manually create it. You can directly use the derived name field from Salesforce. Now let's activate it. Let's try it. Why should we test it? Let's activate it. So now what I'm going to do is, rather using our flow, I'm going to manually create a case, because doesn't matter whether creating the case flow manually or from the code or from the flow. Whenever the case is created, the email will be sent, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually create a case by clicking the new button here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to open my email in another tab to make sure I I can check it. Before that, let's do something. Da, 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 da. Let's update the email to a correct email, because it will send to wrong email, right? So I'm going to update this email address to a correct email address. So email we will be able to check it whether the email is being received properly or not. Where is the email? Oh, here's the email. So let me put my personal email, dsharma12im at gmail.com. Cool. So now I'm going to create a new case for this specific contact. Okay. So now there's a fun part. As you can see, in the case, contact is not a mandatory field. See, contact is not a mandatory field. So theoretically, you can create a case without contact. So if there is no contact, what will happen? You have a record triggered flow, right? You have a record triggered flow. When the case is created, you have to send the email to contact email address of the case. But if you manually create a case like this, the contact name is not mandatory, as you can see. Only status and case origin, and I think subject also is mandatory. I think no, even subject is not mandatory. Only these two are mandatory. So what will happen if you create the case without account? Oh, sorry, contact. Any idea? Okay, huh? Email will not go. Okay, what will happen to the flow? Okay, think and let me think. Let's create the case with contact first and see whether the email has been received in the first place, right? Let's check that first. So I'm for a contact name, I will use this one. So because here is the one, this is the one we have updated, right? With correct email. So let's put the subject again, just email, description, random email. Okay. See, send notification email to contact. We have already out of the box feature, but for the demo purpose, we are using it. We are created the flow. Okay. Okay. So, okay, case is created now. We didn't expect any issues. See, so this is the name it seems I have given. It's coming via, so it will show from which BNS is coming. This is one of the feature in Gmail, Google actually. So say, dear Sharma, we have received your case. We will look into this asset. Thank you. Now, see, so email sending just with a simple flow. Okay, now let's say we are creating a case without contact. Working something, dang dang, dang dang dang. What will happen? What happened? We can't serve this record because the send email on case creation process failed. Why? You are trying to send the email to null, right? So now what we have to do? Now what we have to do? There are a couple of options. Huh? What we can do? Anybody suggest any suggestions for this? There is one simple suggestion. There is one simple solution. There is one kind of okay solution. What kind of a simple solution? Okay. One option is you are making the case subject, sorry, the contact is mandatory in the case page layout. That is one option. So how you can do that? Usually this new case is coming from page layout. So what you can do, you can go to edit object. In the edit object, it will automatically take to you to case, page layout. So probably this is case layout, I think. So here, you can make this contact name as required and save. So then it usually it wouldn't reflect immediately. It will take some time because of the caching. Yeah, it will take some time, but then it will become a required field. Okay, that is one option. But here you are unnecessarily making a required field, right? In your business scenario, if you can create a case without a contact name, here you are unnecessarily blocking a business scenario, right? What are our solutions? What can you do? Okay, even I can going further. What can you do to the flow? Let's assume you have to make some changes in the flow. What can be the changes you can make in the flow? நாங்கள் இங்கிலீஷ்ல கேட்கிறோம் நாங்கள் நீங்க பண்ணிக்கலாம் இந்த ஃப்ளோவில் என்ன சேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும் இந்த ஃப்ளோ இருக்கா இந்த ஃப்ளோவில் என்ன சேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும் எதுல பண்ணணும் சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுங்க as I mentioned again same solution you can handle it in two way one is very simple the other one is kind of okay huh இதுயா ஓகே இது 4 minutes கிடக்குடா இதுயா ஓகே எடிட் பண்ணணுமா ஆ சொல்லு என்ட்ரி கண்டிஷன் போட போறியா என்ன என்ட்ரி கண்டிஷன் போட போற ஓகே ஸோ என்ன சொல்றான்னா இதுல என்ட்ரி கண்டிஷனா வந்து contact ID null இல்லாட்டி means is null ஒரு condition இதுல போட சொல்லி சொல்றேன் that is the best solution so what we can do here we can put the entry condition right so I can select all conditions are met right that is the field contact ID is null false so whenever contact ID is null means empty false means not empty opposite of empty right so whenever the contact ID is not null only this flow will work so we can simply save so usually in flow whenever you are making new changes you have to save it as a new version you can't save the same flow again and again means as it will create new version like version 1 version 2 version 3 likewise it will create new versions so I have to create it as a new version so as you can see here send email on case creation b version 2 is created so here you can check which one is the active one so b1 is still active b2 is not active yet see I have active button now So I'm clicking the activate button. So now we have added a new entry condition. So whenever the account contact ID is not null only, that specific email sending logic will work. Okay. I'm going to same here. Review case origin is missing. See, but because the flow doesn't work. Why? Entry condition doesn't met. So like this, you can make your flow. Likewise, you can put multiple condition or different logic. This and this or this. This and this and this. Likewise, you can create complex condition in order to decide when your flow should run. Okay. Any questions? Again, these are very basic scenarios. But in your actual implementation, you can use this flow in many different potential scenarios. As I mentioned, the unofficial SF is one of the best place to learn. So here, as you can see, you have flow, lot of option. Let's select flow. Flow is our main concern, right? So if you go to this website, it has many use cases, approval request, getting data back from a prompt, flows. So there are a lot of use cases. See, learn flow, beginner, how to guide, blogs, documentation, videos and demos, right? So it's one of the very best place to learn flow. Again, I'm telling you again and again, if you are planning to learn lot of Salesforce, you should know flow. Flow is one of the most powerful automation tool Salesforce has. Almost you can develop everything using flow. That's why I am giving this much of importance to the flow. Okay. That's with the hand demo. Now, what you're going to do is there is a trial. When I say trial, that has multiple modules. So there is a trial called build flows with flow builder. Yeah, there will be multiple modules. If you want to start, you can learn this. But now we are going to do a quick project. That means step by step instructions will be there. You guys need to complete it. Right? So go to Trailhead, search for quick start or build reactive screen flows. Okay. So this one. This one is only one task, 25 minutes. So when you complete this, we can go to break. Okay. So go to this project and try to complete. I am going to complete with you guys because I am also haven't done this yet. Okay, so I am also going to do. You guys also do. If you face any issues, call me and help. Okay, I am going to do in the screen itself. So if anybody are following, you can follow me as well. Those in the Zoom call also, please try to do the what do you call the project. Meantime, I will stop the recording because after this we will take a break. In the next session, after the break, we will take a quick look in Apex. We will take a quick look in LWC. We will take a quick look in Experience Builder. So these three, we will take a quick look, and also we will start the agent post today. We will start the agent implementation heads up today, but the actual session will be next Saturday. Next Saturday morning session will be done by me. I will go through the basic of agent force, what is agent force, how things are working, what is the architecture. I will go through and creating simple agents. After the lunch, we will have a special guest from India. He will be joining by virtually. He will be doing some hands-on demos for you. He is very capable person. He has a lot of experience in Agentforce. He has done a lot of real world projects and delivered real world projects to a lot of customers. He will be doing a demo in the evening session next Saturday. So don't plan to skip next Saturday because that's going to be a huge session where you're going to learn about full and full Agentforce and a lot of new hands-on learning for you. How to implement internal agent, how to implement external agent, how to deploy the agent in a third-party website, everything we will be covering in next Saturday. Okay. So for the time being, I will stop the recording. We will start the recording again in the next session. As I mentioned, we will go through Apex, LWC, and also a high level of experience cloud. Again, it will be very high level. We will not be discussing in depth. We just want to let you know what are the possibilities in each framework. Then you can decide whether you want to use it to your hackathon or not. It's up to you. So that's the main blueprint of this workshop. We will kind of give the heads up. Then you can decide whether it's suitable for your requirement, whether it's feasible. Then that's your call. You can discuss with your mentors. Up to you. Okay.